Dr. Dina, innovator in health and wellness, and I'm home now from the rally, coming kind of down from the energy and emotion and gratitude that was in our circles today. And I felt like I wanted to come and share, the immense gratitude for those who came out today to support the No Mask event here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I wanted to mention the names of these courageous people, who overcame their fears and doubts to come out and support the cause. Because we all have fears and doubts. It's not what we love to be doing, protesting in front of the health department. But it's necessary. It's needed. And when the love for your children, surpasses your fears and doubts of anything else, you start to stand up for your rights and the rights for our humanity. So these are the brave warriors that joined me today at the education department. And I know I'm not going to get everybody, so if you know if somebody was there, please tag them in this and pass on my gratitude. Barbara, who had the megaphone, Tasha, her friend, who was there with a vaccine-injured child with a sign, who drove from the valley. So, who drove hours to get here. These tears are tears of gratitude. Helena and her daughter, okay. Karen, who's a great network marketer, who was sharing our information for everybody that passed by. Sandra, again, who has ran many of the No Mask events. Sandra Zonders, thank you for being there. Tara, again, Tara, copied all the page 23s and highlighted them, for the crowd. Page 23 of the Nova Scotia Health Act, which gives the Nova Scotia government, legalizes kidnapping and quarantine of your children. Because we're in now a state of emergency, apparently, still, so the health department has authority to quarantine or take your children out of school for a fever, which is kind of funny because the fever is a part of your immune system, right? So thank you, Tara, for finding that in the Nova Scotia Health Protection Act, page 23, and bringing it to our attention. So what we did was rip up that page, put it in an envelope, and send it back to the education department to let them know that we're not going to stand for this criminal, unjust behavior of our children. My children, your children, and for the parents who are still home and too afraid to speak out, who know the difference, but put the mask on anyway. This is for you. We're here fighting for you. To Andrew and Chris, who came out, and to Shannon, who's home looking after the kids. To the family of Luna, who didn't want to go on video, but a brilliant little 3-year-old girl with long blonde hair. And her family, her mom and dad and friends of them who came. Thank you for coming. To Paula and Meadow, who are near and dear to my heart. A family that names their daughter Luna and another daughter Meadow, and another family are truly people of the land and people that understand that really our common ground. You can call it common law, you can call it natural liberties, but it's our birthright. It's our birthright on the land for air, for foods that aren't poisoned with toxins, for clean water. This is our birthright that they are taking away from you, and you need to stand up for that. To Gwen, who put money into my hand for the copying. It's overwhelming because that group that was there supporting are so strong and have such conviction and such certainty that it's so inspiring. And I'm sorry I couldn't tell you there. I couldn't tell you there at the protest because I would have ended up like this, and I wouldn't have been able to be strong and speaking as I did if I was, you know, in a pile of tears. To Anastasia, who admitted she was crying all weekend, you know, of what's happening to her kids and struggles that she's seeing with their schools and trying to get the schools to listen to her. Who came out anyway, right? Who came out regardless of her own struggles to fight for her kids and for your kids. To Diane and Bobby, Diane, who hosted a meeting for us recently, and to Linda Moore and to Juanita Shea, so many others that I can't remember off the top of my head, and to CTV, whether or not they published the interview they did. Thank you. Thank you, CTV, for coming and just acknowledging us. Just acknowledging that there's a problem with our system, right? I mean, some of the statistics that I said today, that we're masking all healthy kids. This is not normal, right? This is not normal. Don't let them convince you that this is the new normal. It's not normal to put a healthy kid in a mask, right? This is a fake pandemic. A pandemic. There's only been 64 deaths in Nova Scotia. 58 of those deaths have been at Northwood Long-Term Care Facility, likely having the flu shot, although the Health Minister, Randy Dolores, and the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Robert Strang, has not returned any of my emails. You see, I've went through every MLA, all 51 of them in Nova Scotia, all 11 MPs. You know, the system is broke because they can't return an email of a concerned parent, of a concerned citizen. And you know what? My taxes are paying their salary. They should have replied, right? It's a fake pandemic. And then why grade 4 students? What is the magic? What's the magic behind grade 4 masking? It's a scam. Do the virus kind of like check in with the kids? If you're in grade 4, we can attack you. If you're in grade 3, we're going to leave you. No. Do you know why? Do you know why grade 4 is a magic number? Because the kids that are younger than grade 4 have their sovereignty, have their sovereign mind, and have their sovereign heart. They're not going to listen to an authority who's trying to smother them, right? They're smart. And this is what we're trying to dumb down the kids by injecting them with chemicals and putting a mask on to reduce their oxygen. And what is a virus anyway? Dead pieces of genetic material in the environment that helps strengthen our immune system, that helps evolve our species that have been around for thousands of years. This is what they're creating such fear around, is strengthening our immune system. And every year we get a fall, what we call a natural detox. The leaves of the trees, the deciduous trees drop, so there's less oxygen in the air. The temperature goes down, so there's more particulate matter in the air. So we do have more of a viral reaction. They're going to try to convince you that it's this COVID-19. COVID, certification, CO of vaccine identification. That's what COVID stands for. And Sandra was telling me today she has a photo of the Canadian government purchasing COVID test kits back in 2017. The government knew this was coming. Really? Yes, they did. And you know who's working this is kind of that upper elite cabal. You know, above our governments is the crown. We're ruled by a corrupt queen. If you don't believe me, go look at the Health Protection Act, page 23. Masks, these are the facts. Masks reduce your oxygen. I have a YouTube video that shows that. I did a pulse oximeter test on myself after wearing a mask. After 10 minutes, it reduced 4 points. When I was in private practice, I would do a pulse oximeter test on patients to identify those at risk of cardiovascular disease. Reducing your oxygen causes death, right? So you're putting a mask on your kid all day and sending them to school? For what? For a government that's too dense and who's listening to a corrupt cabal, the corrupt queen, the council, and then the Health Protection Act. I'm going to show you this afterwards. You can't see it here. It's going to be backwards. But the Nova Scotia government basically is legalizing kidnapping and forced medical treatment by our fellow Nova Scotians. Again, thank you, Tara, for bringing that forward and copying the information today so we could all see it. And what we did, if you scroll down to the other videos today, was we had page 23 for everybody that was in the crowd, and we tore up page 23, put it in an envelope, and sent it back to the Department of Education. Because you know what? There's parents that love their kids. There's parents that understand this is a scam, and we're not going to stand for it. We're not going to allow our kids to be put in that environment. We're not going to allow our kids to be put in an environment where they have to be shamed for not wearing a mask. What is this? It's not normal. This is crazy. This is insane. But you know what? The insanity will continue without your support. They will only push and put on us what we allow. Think about that. They only will push and put on you what you are allowing. Because, you know, Rosa Parks didn't sit down in the back of the bus, right? And Gandhi didn't sit down when he was asked to be quiet. These are the people that speak truth, that are courageous to speak their truth, that change history. So if you're not one of them, go back into your cave, go back, put on your masks, send your kids into that corrupt system. But if you're willing to make a change, if you want a change, I really think the international common law is going to be it. Right? So for 2 years, so for those of you who don't know, as a chiropractor for 22 years, family practice, I loved it, dearly loved it. It was really hard to surrender my license because it was something that I loved dearly, but I love kids on such a deep level that the call for me was to keep speaking these truths, and I couldn't do that in a regulated healthcare practice. That's when I seen 2 years ago. I could see the corruption in the government, because if the government wants to cover up vaccine injuries, and then the media puts my name across, I mean, it's a hard way to kind of increase your Google rating, right? Delusional, $100,000 fine, anti-vaxxer. You know why I'm an anti-vaxxer? Because I've researched it. If you research it, you're not going to be putting chemicals, you're not going to be injecting chemicals into your kid, I guarantee you. If you don't research it, you'll probably be in a mask right now, thinking that there's a virus, there's a boogeyman virus going to kill you because you've listened to mainstream media. It's not true. 64 deaths in Nova Scotia. There's 64 deaths in Nova Scotia from the flu every year, right? Just use your critical mind and think. It's a scam. It's a government scam. And they have the media tied up, maybe not CTV, because CTV was there today. So again, I just want to express my dearest appreciation to CTV and to the producers there, who I'm sure will publish the interview that they did with me today, and also to the reporter that showed up, whose name just escapes me. But I appreciate you, because this is it. Our media needs to a new narrative. They need to hear from the people. We, the people, have the power. We, through our taxes, are paying these government officials who are not doing their job. But like I said, it will continue. It will continue as long as you allow it. So today I had I presented a stand-down order from the National Council of Common Law Assemblies. Now, what is common law? I'm still learning this myself. So I'm new to this process. But I know through the last 2 years, I felt really deflated and depressed in trying to have the authorities, the current authorities, MLAs, the Premier, Stephen McNeil, the Health Minister, Randy Dolores, and the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Robert Strang, I get really depressed of giving them the information, of giving them the science, of sharing Plandemic as a great video, or indoctrination, or Dr. Judy Merkowitz's work where she says those who've had the flu shot already had the corona sequence and they're more likely to die. I've shared this information with them. I've done videos down at Northwood that shows a 5G tower 500 feet from the corner of the building. But no one's listening. So my options were slim, as yours are, right? You can be feeling suppressed and victimized by the system, or you can decide to make a change. So I found the international common law, and what that is. Common law is kind of what you're born into. It's your birthright, and it surpasses all the other laws. So it was international common law, for example, that had the Pope Benedict resign in 2013, for sex offending, for sex trafficking. Imagine a priest who everybody bows to, the Pope, sex offending your kids.
Are you going to allow that? Are you going to allow the teacher of your school or the principal to decrease your child's oxygen to affect their brain? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. But there'll only be a few people. There'll be a few chosen few who hear the call, who have such deep love that they'll overcome their fears and their doubts to make a change. And this will change history. We, the people of Nova Scotia, this is what I repeated today, and I hope you repeat it to yourself. We, the people of Nova Scotia, take back control. Take back the health authority of our kids, because the World Health Organization that all the MLAs are falling suit to, that give allegiance to, the MLAs, I can't remember what I was going to say. We the people have the power, you know, the power, and that power is love. Right? That power is love. When you can say, I love my kids, and you can say it loud enough, that it drowns out your fears and doubts. You will stand up. You won't submit. You won't put the mask on. You won't put the handcuffs on. You'll stand up for your rights and freedoms. Because this is a calling. This is the Great Awakening. It's waking up to your true power. Right? So in a common law system that governs the earth, right? You're born into that common law where there's equality. You have free right to fresh food and water. We have right to socialize. We have a voice. This is a law that's common to us all. We have to go back to that. We have to go back to appreciating man, the land, and God. Because in that system, we're being grateful. We're giving thanks. Right? To God and recognizing our connection. In the other system, we're paying allegiance to a corrupt queen. So which program do you want to be in? Do you want to be in this current program that calls a state of emergency and sends your kids back to school in a mask reducing their oxygen, that's going to quarantine them without your consent, that's going to take their temperature and affect their pineal gland, right? Their connection to their spiritual awareness. Are you going to let that happen to your kids? Because, you know, I don't really understand why there aren't more people there today, right? There was a group of us, but isn't this a concern to all parents? I mean, I don't understand. Maybe somebody can tell me. Like, is it that the parents are afraid, like afraid of what's going to happen to them, afraid of their public? Or is it that they don't believe it? Do they still believe that this is a pandemic? I mean, if somebody could help me understand, then I would know how to communicate with those parents. I would know how to communicate, because right now I feel like there's a lot of people just sort of sitting on the fence, not wanting to take a stand for their kids. We're called to lead. And if you're seeing through the bullshit, right? If you're seeing through the bullshit, you need to tell others. You need to share this information. So let me just show you some of the information that we presented today. It's going to get noisy here for a minute. Okay, so wait, let me turn it around. This was the notice of public safety outline COVID measures. So again, if you're not familiar with common law, time to get familiar. The National Council, and we're forming right now an Atlantic. I don't know if I can see that. Let's put it there. We're forming an Atlantic Council, but again, it outlaws. COVID regulations have been declared illegal across Canada, according to people, is this true? Yes, it's true. It's illegal to deprive your kid of oxygen. At a different time, they'd call it smothering. They'd call it a criminal offense. And this is the number of the order. If you need this, you can send a message to me through the blog, 0908-2020A. It's a crime now to impose masking, social distancing, quarantines, mandatory testing, and vaccinating for a scam. It's a scam so they can control us, and also a scam that they can make money from this vaccine. So this was one of the documents that I presented today. The other was this mask safety, who you've always seen. Hugs Against Mask put this out. I love that website. They have great resources, Hugs Over Masks. So if you haven't seen this already, have a look at that. This is what we handed out to people as they were passing by the street. And again, Tara, thank you for finding this, but the Nova Scotia government, again, has legalized kidnapping and forced medical treatment. You can read it yourself. Don't believe me. Just type in Google, use the search engine, or DuckDuckGo is much better. But type in the Nova Scotia Health Protection Act, page 23. You can see it was amended in June 2019. So again, the government knew what was coming, right? This is another thing that I like to talk about in mask exemption forms, because some people just need a little confidence when they're approaching, let's say, a security guard or somebody who's manning the door at one of the favorite shops. So maskexemption.ca, there you go, maskexemption.ca is put out by Rebel News. And on the back, they have all the human rights legislation for your province. So if you're in Canada, go to this website and you can print, you can copy off, you can order, have a little donation for them, maskexemption.ca. Let me see if I can turn this around again. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I don't know what else really to say other than I do have such gratitude for the small group of people, and that you don't always need the majority, right? You need a dedicated, purposeful, courageous minority to shift the paradigm and take back our power. Because this is it. If you're surrendering your power and you're not standing up for your kids, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Do you have some, unresolved conflict that's keeping you suppressed, that's making you believe what the mainstream's feeding you, that there's some pandemic out there that's going to kill us all? Dr. Robert Strang said this pandemic, when he was asked, could last 3 years. Now, it's so funny for him to say that, because in an interview he did back in May at the Cape Breton Post, he said masks were useless. Masks are not effective. So he's gone from saying masks are not effective, this is our Chief Medical Officer of Nova Scotia, to now mandating it on schools. So that will tell you, right, that he is being manipulated. Otherwise, why would he change his mind? Is some new science came out? I mean, the fact of the matter is that masks have like these little millimeter pores, and that viruses are nanoparticles, and they're actually helpful for us. So if you're masking because you're afraid of a virus, it's because you haven't, let's just say you are indoctrinated, you are brainwashed into a system, and you need to wake up, jump out of that, right? Know that the government is planning, right? Page 23, planning to quarantine and to mandatory vaccine your kids. But you know why? Because you're allowing it. You're putting them in the mask and sending them to school. You're buying into this scam. Don't buy into it. End it. Either keep your kids home or go fight it. Go fight it. Now, this common law movement is something that I've just recently found. But again, you can email me. You can send me actually a message on my blog, healthtruth.blog. Or you can go, if you're not in Nova Scotia, you can go to the Council of Assemblies at protonmail.com, Council of Assemblies at protonmail.com, or the Republic of Canada website, the Republic of Canada website, and you can find a common law assembly in your area, because these will be people, you see. These won't be people that are buying into the scam. These will be people that believe in our right to oxygen, to fresh food. These are the people that understand that we've been given this earth, and to feel gratitude for it, not just try to destroy it, not to destroy our humanity, not to lay allegiance to a reptile queen, right? We need to turn this paradigm around, but the only one that can do that for you is you. So again, the reason for doing this video was really to express my gratitude. I went to pick up some printing on my way. I printed some of these flyers on my way, and the lady and gentleman in the print shop, said they were really grateful that I was speaking about these things. So I know there's a lot out there that believe the same thing, but for whatever reason can't or won't sort of speak up against it. But I would just let you know that we need to band together now. We need to unite, because what's coming will be more of this, will be more of the same. They will, like I said, only lay on you. They will only put on you what you accept. So I can share the information, but it's only you that can stand up for yourself, and you that can make a change. So again, healthtruth.blog is my blog. You can see videos. I've done videos at the shopping mall. I haven't worn a mask through this whole thing. I have not worn a mask. If a place requires me to wear a mask, I will not go in. Or in the case of Life Salon Spa in Dartmouth Crossing, I would ask for the Cosmetology Association information, and then health minister, name them all, really, on a complaint. Same thing when I went to get a massage, they wanted me to wear a mask. Again, massage association, again, health minister. You have to lay a complaint, because if you don't push back, you know, you'll still be sitting in the back of the bus with your mask on, right? On the top, the Halifax Metro has a sign on the front of every bus, wear your mask. Just say no. That's from you, Sandra. Just say no. No. Don't accept it, because what you accept will continue. You have to not only push back. Gandhi says, when the government becomes lawless or corrupt, it's your sacred duty to resist. But resisting only brings you this far, right? Unless you have a new paradigm, a new way to put laws in place, then you change the whole system. And this is what we're working on right now in Canada, and especially in Atlantic Canada with the Atlantic Canada Common Law Assembly. So again, if you want more information on that, you can connect with me, healthtruth.blog, or the Council of Assemblies. You can read more about it online. Kevin Annett has a website called Murder by Decree. You can look at all the crimes that have happened in our Canadian government that are gone on, let's say, recognized. Right? All the documentation's there in Kevin's book, Murder by Decree. In fact, I have that somewhere right here. I ordered it. All the information's there. So if you want more information, Murder by Decree is where you'll find lots of literature about the government. Because in the late 1800s, you see, the government played all these scams. They did all these scams, but with the Aboriginal people. They took the kids out of their homes, just like the Health Protection Act is putting in now, right? We're still in a state of emergency here in Nova Scotia, right? I mean, there's been 64 deaths, no new deaths, but we're still in a state of emergency. Why? Because the government hasn't kind of milked us enough yet. They haven't created enough fear so that we're willing to roll up our sleeves and get the vaccine. They will put a mandate in place. If you don't have the vaccine, you can't take off your mask. Are you going to allow that? Are you going to allow it? So where am I with this? You need to stand up and make a change. Not only resist the measures, but push back, which is what we did today. And I will be following up with the stand-down orders that I delivered to the Department of Health, because I also delivered Department of Education. Sorry, so Zach Churchill was the Minister of Health, Minister of Education. Gosh, it's been a long day. So we delivered a stand-down order 3, one to Zach Churchill, also the Health Minister and the Chief Medical Officer. But I will follow that up just to make sure they're delivered. And it's advising them really that they're in violation of our public safety laws. Again, like I said, from that National Council of Common Laws Assembly that gives us right to our air and our freedom and our speech. So if you want more information on that, check in there. But again, immense gratitude to those mothers and fathers who were there supporting today at the Department of Education. And I would encourage you, if you can see through the bullshit that the government's feeding you right now, and that the media is feeding you, like they're trying to scare you into this, is if you can see through it, then you have a duty. You have a sacred duty to share this information with others. The only way we're going to change this paradigm is with you. So we, the people, have the power. We are the change. Thank you for watching, inviting you to reach for the stars, envision and achieve your personal best, and try to enjoy the journey. This is Dr. Dina Churchill signing out. Oh, before I sign out, if you see something valuable in any of the videos that I've posted today, I have a whole series of live videos from our peaceful demonstration. Please share it with others, right? You don't have to be the spokesperson. You just have to kind of share this information with somebody who has a big mouth. That would be me. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you again for the dear soul sisters and brothers that were there at the Department of Education with me today. It's heart-opening to know that there's those parents that are willing to take a stand for their kids. Dr. Dina Churchill, signing out.